and welcome to the New World Championships, a Disc Golf Pro Tour Silver Series event. This is our FPO lead card coverage, round 2, back 9. We are here at the New World Course in Jacksonville, Florida. Let's check out the leaderboard after the front 9 holes.
Yeah, Deann and I are tied up. Sarah and you are right there on our tails, and I'm excited to see what this back 9 has to offer. Here we have hole 10. It's a 680-foot par 4. The treachery off the drive is this OB little stream here and the OB sidewalk to the right. Other than that, it's just 3 really long drives, and hopefully you get the putt. That OB green you see there is in play, but the sand bunker is not.
We've got Sarah Hokom up first. She is going for it. She sends a driver across the OB ditch. And Hokom is safe in the fairway.
Holly smashing one over the little creek thing. This is about where most of us are landing.
Maria's got the Emperor in her hand. I know she's going to make a long drive. Look at this thing. Another sidewalk skip?
Yeah, I turned this one over just a little too much.
Wow, that's got to be past 400.
I was really hoping the cameraman moved out, otherwise that would have been straight OB.
Deann Carey takes her destroyer off the tee. I spoke to her about it afterwards. She was going between the destroyer and the shrike. She didn't commit to the angle that the destroyer needed, so she was flirting with that OB on the left side.
Yeah, she's luckily safe though.
Didn't have enough space for a run-up, so now she's going to play for par. So she's going to lay up short of that OB green. And I'm trying to get to the green.
This looks like a great shot.
It's still a pump, though.
Yeah.
And, you know, if I get close enough, I'll take the putt.
Yeah. Hey, you've got those putts all day.
I do have some long puttage. Now, Hokom
Sarah.
decides it's a little bit too far for her. She plays
Yeah.
that safe layup just like Deann.
Yeah, I was honestly so far up the fairway from where I was previous days that I didn't even know what to throw, that I just
What a great problem
yeeted
to
it
have.
into the woods.
She gone.
She gone.
All right, Deann Carey with an invader. She sends hers a bit long, too. That could be a tester putt.
Yeah, those trees are really guarded there because they have some lower hanging little, what is that called? Spanish moss? Yeah.
Indeed. Hokom with a great upshot. She'll be about 5 feet from the basket. And this wasn't really a putt, so I'm just going to go for a nice little stud layup.
Mhm.
And wow, you've got about a 70-footer.
Yeah.
Ah, that's a lot of chains to not stay in.
Sad, but I didn't quite expect to make it, but I was sad to see it basically go in and then not.
Deann Carey off the top band. And
Yeah, that looked
unfortunately,
good
she'll
from
take a
Deann.
bogey. Yeah, you know, not getting that, not being in position off the drive, not getting a run up on the second shot, and then a little too long on the upshot
I
was
know, and
not a recipe for par.
yeah, and it really wasn't a bad putt. She's had a couple where they were right on the money, just a tad bit high.
Right, here we are on hole 11 at 263-foot par 3. I love having this wooded hole out here on this golf course setup style. Now, this is kind of hard to get to. It can be windy, the putt can be windy, and the tunnel is tight. Let's see if Hokom can navigate it. And she does not. She hits a tree on the right side and kicks left.
Yeah, you know, we were talking yesterday about how this hole seems almost like a gimme, but I've seen almost all of us have a tough time getting up there for a clean look at the basket.
I misfire into the right side and make it about halfway down the fairway. Maria, oof, left, right, and you're in the middle. I mean, I'll take that.
Terrible. But yeah, no, I'll definitely take the middle landing for sure.
Deann pulls her a little right, and she hits the same tree as Sarah Hokom and goes in the
Deann's
opposite
face
direction.
is my exact emotions.
I love Deann's faces. And Deann shorts her upshot. She's not even inside the circle. That's not what you're looking for on an elevated basket.
No, she had a tough upshot.
She
It seemed
did. She
really
was
guarded.
She was going sidearm or
Mhm.
backhand, and eventually chose a backhand, probably due to her time running out.
Yeah.
Sarah Hokom with a nice smooth backhand hits the wooden structure. She's putting for par inside the circle.
It was a good bid.
Ooh, as soon as that happened, I got so nervous. You know,
That it was
sometimes-
rolling?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can start to roll. Carey for par save. It's too low. She'll have to accept a bogey here on hole 11.
Good prep from Sarah.
Hokom won't, though. All right.
I think Sarah's still yet to take anything worse than a par so far. So good on her.
All right, and we all get a par, and Deann getting the solo bogey here on hole 11. Let's check out hole 12.
Yeah, hole 12, par 3, 400 feet. This one's a little tricky. As you can see, it's pretty windy on this hole. The back nine definitely is where the gusts start to come in. I think we can all reach it, but it's a really hard to get hole because of the OB on the left and the low ceiling.
Hokom with a sidearm shot. She swings it right over the OB sidewalk and skips back in bounds. She'll have a circle 2 look at it. I feel like she'll be playing this hole for par. And I'm going for an Annie turnover, just looking to land in the fairway. Did not commit to the angle, so I hyzer out left OB. And I like this play you have. Even though it's low, it's still safe, and it's just so far from any type of out of bounds.
Yeah, and honestly, this hole definitely feels like a bonus. So yeah, I was pretty upset that I shorted it low, but like you said, the 3 on this hole doesn't feel bad at all.
Deann gets her upshot right under the basket, as does Maria.
And Holly with an even closer upshot.
I'll
Love
be
to see
putting
it.
for bogey. Hokom with the best drive of the group.
Yeah, it was a great forehand by Sarah. Everyone else just tapping out their 3s. All right, after 12 holes, I'm now in the solo lead, and Sarah and Deann are 2 back, and Arya and Holly are now tied up.
Some messages of people asking like, "Hey, are you still trying to be the pro? Are you, or what are you? What is your goal for the next couple of years? Like, when are you gonna win again?" Basically, that question. So, yeah, tapping that win in just felt like, there you go, to like all the friends and fans and everyone who supported me throughout the last couple of years.
What could we have here?
Fancy stuff here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Good quality, super stiff, pretty grippy too, I would say.
I think I would throw every disc in this plastic.
All right, let's check out hole 13. This is a 382-foot par 3, another difficult hole with the sidewalk OB on the left, low ceiling branch right off the tee, and then this thick wooded area on the right side. This is a really tricky hole. A lot of players will just play a mid or putter off the tee to land in the fairway and not flirt with any out of bounds. Sarah Hokom sends her forehand into the fairway, and she'll have about 125-foot up shot at it.
Yeah, this hole requires just such a tough shot to really get up there for a 2.
Tell me what you threw here.
I threw a Dynasty. It's a speed 9. I was going to throw my Wraith, but I threw the Wraith yesterday, and it just didn't. It went OB. Because of the
Too hard of a
driver.
finish.
Yes. And so, yeah, I opted for the safe route, but I still kind of wanted to, get up there, and yeah.
Deann Carey opts for a mid off the tee, as do I. Mine is too high, and it leaks over to the woods. And even though Deann played this hole super short, you can see she's broken it down into basically 3 parts. Just short in the middle, simple little up, take a putt, get a par. And I don't really have a way to get to the basket, so I'm going to have to play for bogey.
Sarah just putting her up right in circle 1. A little bit of a tester, but I'm sure they both got that. This one, you definitely gave it a good bid. I thought it was going in from my
I thought
angle.
I'll do a little Annie away from the OB.
Yeah.
Maybe it floats in. You sent a long one too.
Yeah, I really wanted this one.
Did you get the 2 in practice?
Yeah. But that's practice. It's
Of course.
not real.
Deann Carey cashes a long putt. That's a great way to play this hole.
Yeah, that was a great putt. Good one from Sarah as well.
Hokom still hanging out on that par train.
Yeah, and I just short-circuited a little bit there. You know what I was thinking about, honestly?
Tell me.
I knew you were out, and I had already gotten to my
I
putt.
knew
Yeah.
that's what you were thinking as I was walking
Literally.
around.
Yeah, no, I was walking up, and then I saw your putter, and I was like, she looks
But you know that I don't care. But
I
as soon as
know,
the
yeah,
thought enters your
yeah.
mind, it's blocked
Exactly.
the putting.
Exactly. But yeah, anyways,
All right.
hole 14, par 5, 888 feet. This one's super tricky too, and this is really where the gusts really get crazy. It's a straight headwind for us the entire time. And yeah, you're just throwing hyzer after hyzer. You'll see Sarah throw some forehands here, but you're just trying to stay in bounds the entire time while simultaneously trying to bite off as much distance as possible, which is, like I said, super tough with the OB and, all the shrubbery and trees on the left side.
The wind is ripping, but not quite as aggressive as yesterday.
No.
Hokom with a backhand drive. She lands safe in the middle of the fairway.
I feel like on this hole, though, even if the wind isn't as strong, it just feels so significant because it's right in your face the entire time.
Right, and Deann uses her most overstable wind fighter, and it cuts hard into the woods.
I'm also opting for my Halo Destroyer, which is my heavy-duty driver.
Wind Warrior.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going for one of my old Tour Series Destroyers, which is also a big Wind Warrior.
I love this one.
But the finish on it is aggressive, so I'm thankful for the sand.
Yeah.
And Deann must not have had much of a run-up. She's doing a standstill with that same driver. She lands in the middle of the fairway, but she needs to bite off a bit more distance. This is a long hole.
You're biting off just bit by bit.
Yeah,
Playing it really nice.
300 here, 300 there.
And both you and I found trouble on this hole yesterday, so we were definitely excited to be out in the open on this one today.
Yes, in the middle, safe.
Yes.
Just don't overcomplicate it. You had an incredible drive. I remember asking Deann, was that her drive? I started questioning if that was like your second shot. It was so far ahead of us. You send a perfect second shot way up there. Now, this is Deann Carey's third shot, and she's using that same PD disc. She ends up in a good position.
Yeah, she really trusted that one because she hung it over the OB for a little bit. Sarah turning hers over just a tad bit, but she's got a long look at a putt. It's a great shot by you, Holly. Just barely outside the circle.
My plan was to swing it out of bounds, back in bounds, drop it in for birdie. The body did not commit to the out of bounds part.
Same, as you can tell.
Your upshot is in the circle, and we've got Deann's. That's a little high, and it's leaking left. That could be a tester putt for Deann. Circle's edge for par.
Yeah, it was a little windy right on the screen.
I didn't want any taste of that 50-footer for birdie.
No.
I laid it up. And then Sarah went for hers, and I kind of felt like a chump because I sold out.
I mean, you had the same result, so
You're right.
know.
You're right. And you...
I missed that putt. It went in. I'm not even going to talk about it.
Hey, the birdie for you. A little low. I feel like because that OB was behind the basket, that wasn't Deann's actual putt. It usually has a little more force.
Yes. It's really scary putting into OB, especially when it's windy. You're just, yeah.
And we can see Hokom is just playing that nice, clean par golf.
No chains for Holly. None needed.
Don't mind a drop in. Let's take a look at hole 15, our island hole on the course, coming in at only 215 feet, par 3. It does have a double mando. It can get windy here, so you have to choose the proper disc for the wind. Maria's going with her Tour Series AVR X3. Hits the island. She'll be putting for birdie. Hokom going with a standstill sidearm. It's low. It's nose down, and it hits the Mando left tree. She'll have to play from the drop zone. The wind is picking up. I'm teeing off with a Mako. I pull it.
I really thought this one
I got
was
lucky
great.
yesterday, and I
know.
wanted to get lucky again, but it was...
This one was a better shot than yesterday,
It
though. I really
was.
thought you were going to park it.
I'll be going from the drop zone as well. Deann Carey up last. Ooh, it's high, but she is saved by the wooden beams, and she'll be putting for birdie.
Yeah, you definitely have a long putt from the drop zone, which is nice. You almost got it.
Listen, that was
Oof.
supposed to be a layup. I know I said that earlier in the round, but the old me is coming back.
You need to
It's-
stop laying up and just...
It's trying to go
put
for
'em
things
in.
I don't need to be going for. So
Oh, you have to. I
Deann
need to see it.
Deann misses her birdie putt, but you don't.
Luckily.
And that's 2 birdies in a row for you. Carey with an easy par. That was aggressive.
That was really aggressive, but
Worked
we
out.
did it.
Thank you, basket. So I putt for bogey, as does Sarah Hokom here on hole 15.
Sarah's first bogey of the back 9.
Right on the shortest hole.
Craziness. All right, after 15 holes, I'm still in the lead by 4 right now. Sarah and Deann are tied up, and Arya is right there behind them. Hole 16 is a par 3, 240 feet. Definitely feels like a gimme because how short it is, but it's definitely no gimme. It's a tight gap, and when you get to the green, it gets super windy and gusty, so it's just not an easy get, but definitely one you want.
Maria up first.
I'm throwing my Anubis. It worked out great yesterday. Today was a little bit more of a headwind, and it just turned over a little bit. And
We're calling it the Monubis, which you can get from Infinite Discs.
Yes.
Deann, Carey, opting for a nice tunnel shot. She sneaks up there. She'll have about a circle to look at it. The wind is really picking up here on this short hole.
Yeah.
Sarah's shot turns over left. Doesn't fight the wind like you're expecting. And I upgraded to a more stable Mako. And maybe I shouldn't have. Only ended up about halfway there.
It made sense, though. The wind was ripping.
I felt like it did.
This shot was so hard. I only had one gap, and I hit it, but
It's a long putt for par from there.
Yeah.
We got Deann Carey for birdie from about 50. She sends it.
Ooh.
And she doesn't connect.
That was a good bid, though.
Some daps from Hokom. She likes the courage because she's going to go for it too. Hokom from 45. A little too left. Now, Deann told me that I have no choice but to go for it because both of them went for it. But you know what?
You said no.
Really liking that par golf right now.
Yeah.
Just going to go for that drop-in par and move on to 17. Ah, you had a
Almost
good
had
bid
it,
from
yeah.
back there.
Almost, but not quite.
Hokom with a comeback for par. She nails it. As does Deann Carey.
And as you can tell, the back nine on this course is definitely where
The trouble comes into play.
Yes, because we had fairly clean front nines, and man, this back nine is... The pars are just hard. They're good holes, I think, for us, but some of the pars are definitely tough. Like this one, hole 17, par 3, 426 feet. Like, I can definitely get the birdie, and I'm sure a lot of us can, but the wind on this hole every day has been just impossible.
All right, let's check out Deann Carey here on the hole of 17. She's opting for a short layup off the tee. Not a lot of distance, just keeping it safe on that right side landing zone. Sarah Hokom looking to do the same. As Maria said, it takes a lot of distance and power to actually reach the inbounds area. And even if you get there, you're probably not going to get a putt, so it's not worth it in the end. I'm opting for the Mako layup. Send it a bit long, but hopefully it's out of the woods. I see you got your AVR in your hand, unlike the previous day where you actually went for it with a driver.
Well, I actually didn't practice the layup ever.
Of course not.
Because why would I?
You throw far.
Yeah, and then I saw y'all, do the layup, and I'm like, well, we all got threes anyway, so might as well go for it. And then I went OB, so I'm just going to go for it now.
Deann Carey with her upshot, and that wind that goes right to left, we've seen in previous day, got a hold of it. She'll be way outside the circle for par. Hokom sends her upshot, and it's looking the same as Deann Carey's. She's inside the circle, though. I'm right on the edge of the woods.
Yeah, you had a tricky lie here. All those freaking twigs were like waist high.
And I also send mine to left, but thanks to my little friend, that tree, I'm inside the circle.
I sent mine a little too high, but I knew the trees were going to crash it down.
I like that play sometimes. Just punch it into the canopy, let it fall. That's a big boy move. Deann Carey for par. She hits the top hat again. We've seen that a couple of times from her today.
Committed. You want that
Agreed.
miss, but yeah, it
Agreed.
definitely still feels bad.
Hokom doesn't connect with the basket at all for her par putt here on 17.
Good putt.
And after I saw both of them miss, I putted a little harder than normal.
Yeah, solo par on this hole feels great.
So 3 bogeys and a par. And hole 17 playing as the most difficult hole on the course.
Really? I mean, it's expected that the drive is tough. I imagine a lot of us are going OB on that drive, and Yeah, the upshot really is no gimme.
Our finishing hole, a par 5, 860 feet. You do have several Mandos, the first indicated on the right. You can see this sand trap. It's not out of bounds or a hazard, but this golf green we're flying over right now, it is out of bounds. So your second shot will be flying over this area and landing somewhere around this other Mando tree. Then you're going to send your upshot down the tunnel towards the basket. As we fly over this golf green, which is also not out of bounds, nor is this sand trap, you can try to get your shot inside the circle and possibly get the elusive birdie 4 here on the finishing hole. I'm up first, sending a shrike into the wind. It's turning over, going right side. I've never landed over there before. There's a first time for everything.
Yeah, there's really 2 good landing zones on this hole, and it's where you landed and kind of where Deann's going. It's like you really want to get on this most left side of the fairway, and it kind of gives you a straight shot at the Mando tree opening, per se.
After being on both sides of the fairway, I've noticed I prefer the left side, being a right-handed, backhanded player.
Yeah.
Sarah Hokom sending her sidearm, and she's going over there where
Right
I
where
am.
yours is, yeah.
And she said, I love it over here.
Yeah, I'm also trying to go hang out with you guys.
You got a destroyer pumping towards that sand trap, and you're safe. I like that. It's just what a straight flying destroyer that was. It had no finish.
Yeah, I definitely turned that one, and the wind was ripping it, because that's my most stable one.
Yeah, I know. That's your Calvin wind fighter. All right, Deann Carey with a good second shot. Now we've got Hokom up with her second shot, and it's going a bit long, but there's a lot of space to work with right there. It looks like you're in the trees, and you get over there, and you're like, oh, it's open.
Yeah, the second shot is so tough. Like, if you're going for it, it's tough. If you're laying up, I mean, it's still hard, but a little more simplified. 'Cause yeah, that's the miss, is missing the Mando or just going a little too far right and having to go back around it, which really just wastes so much distance on this hole.
And I threw my shot right at the spotter, as did you, but you got a tree kick to
Yeah.
the proper side of the Mando. That was very friendly.
Yeah, definitely a friendly little kick there for me.
Deann Carey being very conservative as she plays this hole 18. She's not doing anything aggressive at all. Look at standstill Annie.
Yeah, I had a weird lie. I'm so thankful that shot worked out.
That was incredible. I saw the same thing from you yesterday, but from the drop zone.
Oh, yeah.
You are really good at those Anheisers.
Thank you. It's definitely my go-to angle.
You know what? You're good at everything.
Stop it.
Oh, you stop it. Sarah Hokom from the rough, but not really. Just a leaf on her back.
And this is a tough shot for you.
Yeah, I didn't enter the restricted space, so I'm just trying to get back around the proper side of the Mando.
That's really all you had there.
That's
Even
all
a
you can do.
forehand's not even...
Nah.
No.
Sending a Mako in, but as we saw on that island hole, this Mako doesn't fight the wind very well. So, you know, I leak a little right, giving myself a long putt for par.
Sarah getting hers up there for a look.
She'll be in the circle.
Yeah.
And just look at all the red here on the back nine. You can see just how much more the course plays, how much more difficult it plays as we get towards the finish here. Deann Carey gets a nice sidearm chip into the green. Are you going for that or just trying to get it close?
No, I can't putt that far
Okay.
yet. Yeah.
I mean, you just putted that far.
Not accurately.
I was going to go for it. I really was. And at the last minute, I laid it up.
It's a slick green.
It was.
Grass is short.
I just wasn't feeling it at the moment.
Yeah.
Hokom airballs it over the top. It's not that far, though, because she has some control on her putt.
Nice
Deann
putt from
Carey
Deann.
back to putting for business. That's the putt we've been seeing all weekend from Dee.
Yeah, despite some putting woes, it always feels great to at least end your around on a good putt.
Man, wiser words have never been spoken. And you slam that finishing putt into the chains.
Yeah, I can make 10-footers sometimes.
I'll have to take the bogey after messing up the Mando shot. And wow, after round 2, my co-host, Miss Oliva, is in the lead. Deann, Carey in second, Sarah Hokom in third. Check out the rest of our top 10 leaderboards, some names you might or might not recognize. A lot of really talented athletes out here at the new World Championships. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We hope to see you for the round 3 coverage. I'm Holly Finley.
And this is Maria Oliva, and we hope to see you back soon.